Uh, so we are going to do the shoulder sleeper, but I've been seeing a lot of people not realizing, including myself, that you're cheating a lot. And so I'm going to give you a bunch of variations here on how to block and stop yourself from cheating. So shoulder sleeper is working on internal rotation, and we're going to be side lying, and our main cheats that happen is the shoulder hikes up and our torso rotates backwards to the upper arm, so that then the shoulder has lots of range, right? So that looks like loads of range. If I bring myself back, it locks it down, right? So we want to make it so it's locked down. The other thing about shoulder sleeper is I actually want to feel it on this posterior back of the capsule of your shoulder, because that is actually the tissue we're trying to stretch. If you don't feel it there, then we need to vary, right? And so we want to lock it, keep your shoulder right tucked underneath, right down, so it's much stricter, okay? Especially for anybody who's very flexible and won't even realize. So I'm gonna lie on my side here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into that shoulder sleeper position. Let's just bring this up slightly. There we go. Perfect. So my hips and knees are 90 degrees. And the reason we do that, you can scoot your bum a little bit back, which then creates a little bit of an angle. So there we have about a 70-degree angle at the hip. And now you can see here already, I've rotated my shoulder back and my shoulder's trying to hike. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna block that, and we're gonna square it up, get it right underneath, right? And then we're going to not allow the shoulder to rotate up. One way to help is to put a wall behind you, so you can actually put your back right to the wall, and then you won't be able to rotate, so that helps a little bit. You could also pop a block or a ball here so that you're stopping that rotation, but these are the blocks we want to do. Our internal rotations, what we want to do is we want to actively rotate downwards, so we're aiming towards our hip and we're rotating down towards the floor. So we're using this arm as a pivot, and then when we get to the end range, we're going to grab our other arm above the wrist and we're going to rotate a little further, so we're passively stretching. So this stretch you're going to do for 2 full minutes. That's our pails and rails time. So if we're trying to acquire new range, if you do it for less than that, it's still effective for other things, for releasing tissue. But if you're actually trying to acquire new range, you need to do that. But if you want to just activate the tissue or load the tissue pre-workouts or other things, then absolutely do it less and do just the pails and etc. So I'm pushing down, I'm holding here for my 2 minutes, and I want to stay right at this end range. Don't let that shoulder hike up, don't let your torso rotate back, and keep yourself square where you are. Don't let that cheat. So you want to push far enough that you feel that stretch on that outside posterior capsule, as I said, the back of the shoulder, and you want to feel a nice stretch. It shouldn't be painful, it should be intense, but not painful, and we hold there. Right, so we're going to do a pails now. My working arm, my left arm, is going to be pushing up, and my right arm is going to meet that resistance. I do not want to see you come 1 millimeter out of your end range. So I'm here, I'm going to start to push up, take a breath in, trap the air in my lower abdomen, and radiate and push up. So 20%. We're going to ramp this up, 30%, 50, 60, 80, greatest effort. So now I'm pushing up as hard as I can, and my other arm is pushing down. I'm radiating tension through my body. And this you will only, if you're actually doing your max, which I would like you to, hold for 10 to 15 seconds. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Right away go into a rails, which is trying to actively go towards the floor. So you will not feel like a lot happening. But once you get going in this, you might feel in the armpit some work. So we're aiming towards the hip and we're trying to reach for the floor. Hold, trying to do your max effort right away on this one. 3, 2, 1. Grab your hand and replace that, and you'll see where that range opens up. Again, watch for the cheats. Don't let your shoulder come up. Don't let your torso rotate back or put a wall behind you. And then we're going to hold here. Again, second rep, we hold for 1 minute, and we do the same ramping up and ramping down for our pails and rails. Afterwards, pop onto your back and do a few shoulder capsule cars. So create tension, arms at 90 degrees, slowly internally rotating and slowly externally rotating. Reaching for the floor, slowly internally rotating, slowly externally rotating. Okay, that's a locked or restricted shoulder sleeper for the shoulder internal rotation, so rotation of your shoulder. So if your shoulder has impingement or pain, this is a great exercise. Always work within your pain-free range. Do not drive into painful tissue because you can injure it more. See you again soon.